Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kiru's show here, and let us begin where we last left off. When we last left off, Deku's murderous rampage ended in All Might's death, along with half of Class 1A actually being murdered in the ongoing destruction Deku caused. Now, I actually flipped the coin, and a lot of characters people like, they had luck on their side. I'm not going to lie to you. So I have the paper right here. Bakugo, alive. Kirishima, alive. Mineta, dead, who gives a fuck about him. Momo, alive. Todoroki, alive. Jiro, alive. Ida, alive. I dropped the coin on him, so he may have been dead. I am not going to lie. I dropped the coin and I felt like I needed to reflip it. Uraka, alive. Ibara, dead. Tetsu, alive. Froppy, alive. Mina, alive. Everyone else in Class 1A, dead. Because I feel like everyone else was getting way too lucky. And there at least had to be some casualties. Now, anyways, let us begin at Deku back at the villain's base. Everyone's talking and they're really excited. Deku is actually kind of being cheered on by everyone, especially All For One. All For One is stating that is quite surprising, and he did not expect that. In fact, he kind of went up against his entire plan. Deku would ask what he means, and he would say that one of the quirks he has can actually foreshadow certain events, if not give him certain visions. He can actually predict them somewhat by seeing flashes of those events. One of these flashes was actually him going up against All Might in the soon to near future. But that seems unlikely now. So, you have done what I could not. I will give you that, boy. As Deku would actually sit down on the stool at the bar, saying that that's pretty good, and that at least him and her can make a life together. As he would look at Toga, and she would somewhat look at him by just turning her head. Deku sees this, and he just immediately remembers, right, that's not her. As he would look to his right, actually seeing his Toga, the one that is his rational mind, saying that that was a stupid decision and he really should not have done that. Now look what's happened. You have Eraserhead tied up, you have All Might dead, and you have half of those kids probably dead along with the League. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is all that remains of them. Not just that, you keep forgetting that that dummy right there isn't actually me. Deku would immediately just slam his hand down onto the table, saying, "Shut up." As he would just grab the Toga twice made and walk out with her. This kind of confuses everyone, but Deku would have actually just taken off his mask and actually changed his clothes before leaving. Now, Twice doesn't really think anything of this, he just thinks, oh, they're going on a date? Now? We're just getting the party started. Yeah, well, maybe they want to start their own party. No. Dude, why would you even think like that? You're you. Besides, it's not a what if. It's not a what if without some dumbass saying some stupid shit. Yeah, you're right. That Kaminari kid's dead, right? Who? Exactly. Anyways. Now, Deku would actually be taking Toga to different places around the city. He would actually take her to a public park where they went to after a quirk therapy once, asking her if this rings any bells, and she would quite simply say no. It seems vaguely familiar, though. And Deku would just be taking her around the city, more and more and more different places, until he winds up at the one place he never thought he would have to take her. She would immediately see Toga's own gravestone. Oh, she would see this and she'd be confused, saying that this kind of doesn't make any sense. As Deku would explain, well, you're not actually you. You're a copy of a girl I once knew. A copy of a girl who meant everything to me and I failed to even help. I was going to be a hero and you called me your favorite. But it seems like you should never meet your idols. I met mine and I chopped his head off. So I couldn't blame you if you tried, but it'll just grow back. Trust me, that still doesn't even work on me. As he's saying this, Toga would just look at him, kind of confused. So, I'm not actually me, and I'm dead, but what does that mean? You are fake. What do you mean? You aren't real, but I'm standing right in front of you. You don't understand. Imagine... I don't even know if you can. Imagine looking at a tree in the distance. You see that one over there? Imagine being able to see that every single day, and you build somewhat of an attachment to knowing that that tree is exactly in this place. So just by looking at it, you can know where you are. Now imagine if someone chopped that tree down. You'd be confused, and you'd somewhat try and piece it together. Oh, how would I piece together a tree? That's not what I meant, but close enough. As Deku would actually take her to the alleyway where it happened, where essentially the bloodstains are still somewhat there. This did happen over a year ago, but they didn't really clean up very well. If not, there's still at least a couple scratches and dents in the cement. Now, Deku's saying that this is where it happened and this is where it all changed. The first two people he ever murdered were because she died. Because of what happened, it drove him down the path of insanity. As he would immediately look at his toga, and he actually looks at the one Twice made. Essentially torn between what to do. Now, this is when Toga actually looks around, and she actually walks directly up to the corner where her body was laying. Actually somewhat running her hands over it, and she actually pulls it away, kind of disgusted. But she just immediately runs out of the alleyway and actually starts running back to the base. Deku is confused by this. What just... Wait. No. As he immediately just starts running back, he would find that Toga is yelling at Twice, that he lied to her, and she's not special at all. And Deku would actually walk in as Toga just smashed a beer bottle over his head. And he's actually asking what Twice even did. Twice would have to go over the way his quirk works and actually explain that he can essentially copy people's bodies and copy their memories. But he has to be able to pick and choose those memories. Since she was basically harvesting memories from a corpse, that was a bit harder. Not all of them are there because of the decomposition that the brain went through. That is quite simply what Kurogiri and All For One were saying to him. Which kind of made Deku a bit more mad. So he's basically thinking that this is... It's basically like a corrupted hard drive. or a person with amnesia. They're totally separate from the person you lost. So, it's like meeting a whole other person. But with the same face, the same name, the same voice. Now, after that emotional crisis, Deku, he would actually start thinking of a way that they can actually keep an eye on UA. Because All Might dead, a hero missing, and students dead, they probably will not be holding the sports festival. Which Deku would say is actually kind of weird. But it makes sense since they just lost everything. If not lost a lot of things. So they should at least properly go over what is going on. If they do hold a sports festival, I can probably pose as a vendor with my quirk. But I will need some help. As Hime looks over at Twice, Shigaraki, and he would think to look at Kurogiri, but essentially he's a dead giveaway as a villain. So he immediately looks over to Toga, which he's somewhat uncomfortable with talking or being around right now, since he's trying to piece together exactly how she works. But Twice would just say that that's fine, he can just do this. As he somewhat just makes copies of Deku. Actually, somewhat. Sorry about that, guys. There is going to be a cut there because I tried sliding that away and I accidentally clicked on it. Almost basically turning on that video while recording. I feel silly. Now then. Deku would actually think that essentially they would have to do something creative since he can just pull things out of nowhere. It would just be kind of obvious that his quirk might be similar to certain villains, if not the same one that was used during the attack. So Deku would actually come up with a curtain-style idea. Basically, the food truck would have these drapes in front of it where you can basically, essentially you pass out a note, you write down your order and exactly what you want, and Deku could just slide it through in a couple seconds, if not a minute or so. And this would actually be very useful, so they can be a hidden vendor during the whole thing. So Deku would actually get his appearance changed by cutting his hair off and somewhat putting on contact lenses, actually getting a fake ID and a name change. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to call himself Wade Wilson, because that's just too on the nose. He's not calling himself that. Adam McCain, I believe, is a good one. I don't know if that's a comic book character name, but it sounds like one. For those of you wondering where I got that from, the music for my intro is The Mystic by Adam Jensen. Adam and McCain. Because I believe I played a game with a character named McCain in it. So I'm just putting that one in there. So Deku would pose as a vendor, and this is where they actually would see all of the students showing off their quirks. Essentially, they also were given a TV to actually be able to see everything happening, and Deku would be walking around the stadium, actually able to see the stage as he's handing out food. Deku sees this all going on, and he actually sees Bakugo winning the tournament, if not the sports festival. And Bakugo actually does have his epic battle against Todoroki, where Todoroki is actually told and berated that he should use his quirk instead of being a little bitch. And this would have actually set Todoroki off, where Endeavor would have tried doing his whole thing, but Bakugo would just throw him the finger and actually use Black Whip by accident. Essentially bitch slapping Endeavor, pissing him off, as a lot of heroes have to hold him back, and Todoroki would actually somewhat beat Bakugo because he lost control. Now, after this, Endeavor would hand out the medals, and he berates Todoroki for not using his side. He calls Bakugo an arrogant asshole. And who did I leave alive? Actually, I believe Ida won fourth place. Yeah, I believe so. Let's say Ida won third. And this is whenever... Yeah. This is whenever Deku just walk out of the stadium actually thinking Bakugo has 2 new quirks. So he needs to essentially write these down and actually figure out what they do. As he pulls out a pen and notepad, actually writing down essentially just sparks, physical strength, and a whip. Thinking this might be part of one quirk. As he would go back to the villain's hideout with everyone else, and All For One would reveal that that was essentially All Might's successor, which would confuse Deku. All For One would actually give Deku the explanation that One For All is a quirk he created by accident. It is in fact the reason for All Might's existence in the first place. 2 centuries ago, if not around 2 centuries, he took an enhancement quirk from somebody. Essentially, this quirk stockpiled power. He gave it to his foolish brother because he believed his brother was powerless, and he did not want that. So out of the kindness of his heart with his own gift, he believed that he can give his brother something he always wanted. A power greater than his own. But it turns out, my brother did have a quirk. He had the ability to pass on quirks. A totally useless one. Until One For All. I gave him this power, and it essentially merged with his own, turning his useless quirk into one of power and hope, essentially making that quirk go far beyond human boundaries. That boy Bakugo, he has gotten One For All to the point where it's so powerful, using it at its maximum can shatter your bones, if not break limbs. So, here is your next task. He would quite simply hold his hand out to Deku, saying he needs to bring Bakugo to him, and he will rip that quirk from him, giving it to Deku. If not, pull the trigger and kill the boy. Now, I know your personal relationship with him, but if you do so, I may be able to find a quirk that can help you with your task. Bringing back your girlfriend. I know she means everything to you, but you and this boy are basically brothers. Are you sure you're willing to... Yes. What? Yes. What, were you not expecting an answer so fast? No, not really. I kinda have to. My notes. Anyways. Yeah, so just, I wasn't actually sure where to go from here. Shigaraki. Basically go fucking kill the kid. Okay. As Deku would walk out, and he actually leaves Toga there, as she's now a bit more confused. Twice actually looks at her, seeing this, and he just says that this is weird. Essentially, they don't live for this long without ever gaining sentience, if not free will. But it seems like she has it, but she just doesn't use it. It's creepy. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day.